Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about my build over the past couple days, so I decided I'd post a video just to show you some of the things that are essential to making the build as strong as it is. I'd like to point out that in the video I am level 459, but you don't need to be quite this high to get the build completely min-maxed. To be completely min-maxed, you need to hit around level 350, and you can pretty much be close to the point where I'm at now, around 250 to 300. Depending on your itemization and stuff, but you do not need to be level 459 for the build to work like this. Okay, so the most important things are going to be your weapon and making sure that you inherit attack to all of your armor. Now, to inherit attack to all of your pieces, which is a question that I've received a lot, all you need are a pair of gloves with inheritable attack. You then get these to max familiarity and soul match them to whichever piece of armor you want the attack on. And that works for every slot. As for the weapon, the two most important things are going to be skill damage and the change to attack dexterity A+, or skill A+. Ideally, you would want dexterity, since obviously you're going to be maxing dexterity first, or you should be with the Kusarigama build. I settled for skill because I was already around level 250 when trying to craft a near perfect weapon. And my skill was already at like 75. And it probably took about 1,000 recrafts through saves coming for me to get the roll, so I just settled for that. Also, crafting a 320 Kusarigama and soul matching it to a 150 plus 10 is really important, and I suggest you get it done sooner rather than later because it helps grinding a lot. I'm currently using the Iga Jonin set. There might be better options later on in the game, especially once you have the stamina to wear higher levels of armor, heavier armor, without taking too much of a hit to agility. But I found the ninjutsu items pretty useful while progressing, and I most likely won't change my armor. There are likely better options, but a lot of them rely on applying debuffs, which isn't always easy to do, and this just gives me a straight up around 12% damage increase between the ninjutsu damage bonus and the close combat damage, which I have tested. Other things that are really important: keeping your agility rating at A, which requires lower than 30%, because the bonus from agility damage bonus A+, I believe was around a 17% damage increase for me at the time when I tested it. And you're going to want to have that on your primary ranged weapon. I never really use either of mine, so I just keep my rifle out and I get the bonus from that. Now, my accessories, that's where it got kind of lucky. This one is pretty much near perfect for grinding. It has yokai close combat damage, Amrita earned while using living weapon, and it obviously has the divine modifier for -1 set requirement. Now, the most important thing for your accessories is going to be the Amrita earned while using your living weapon, Amrita earned from yokai, and then yokai close combat damage. The -1 set bonus is also pretty much necessary if you want to run a Kodama bowl, which is going to give you another 7.5% Amrita from your blessing, while maintaining your Iga Set bonus, which again, the ninjutsu damage bonus A is only about a 4 to 5% increase, so it's not a huge deal. Now, say I was at level 750 and I no longer need this, I would put my Iga helm back on, and then use something like this. 2% damage reduction and 12.2% skill key reduction, which will scale up with familiarity. There are other 2-set bonuses too that you might benefit from. There's one that's 15% damage from behind. I mean final blow damage with 2% damage reduction. There are other options. As far as what stats to max first, you're obviously going to want your spirit high enough to get the full benefit from whatever guardian spirit you're using at the time. Your magic is going to, before your dex, skill, and body are max, you're going to need your magic around 20 to 25 just to get things like Soft Talisman, Carnage, Weakness. This is good, but I didn't get that till later on. Pleiades and Extraction are again not really needed until later on in the game when you're doing grinding endgame and want to maximize your Amrita and keep your living weapon up at all times. So while progressing, I would say the most important are going to be Capacity, Sloth, and Elemental. I chose Water because the debuff causes the target to take about 7% increased damage. Carnage. Yeah, I mean Carnage, Sloth, and Weakness are pretty much, I would say, the only three that are really necessary early on in the game. If you're trying to proc Discord, you might need to pick up one other talisman like Lightning or Fire, depending on your living weapon and what role you have on your actual weapon. As for Mystic Art, this is the one that you're primarily going to be using later on in the game to increase the duration of your Saki. This one I use more while progressing, just to get buffs up faster, mostly during boss fights. For ninjutsu, for Mystic Art, I would pick this up first. Earlier on, as the extra damage from your projectiles and ranged weapons helps, but I never really use that anymore. At this point, I just use the instant cast for my run speed scrolls, and that's it. I haven't really been using my ninjutsu too much. So early on, you want all of your kunai, shuriken damage, the Mega Heroku Dama, Fire Shuriken. These are good. I did pick these up fairly early, but I only placed 1 point in them to save points, just to get the main bonus. Tiger Running Scrolls are good. Good to get early. Max Elixir Capacity. All the good passives as well. They're mostly self-explanatory. And obviously Capacity up. But the most important things are going to be Concealment, the Kunai, Shuriken damage, the Mega Heroku Dama, and the Fire Shuriken. The Fire Shuriken and Mega Heroku Dama are really good for applying Discord to bosses, in combination with, you know, Water Scroll, or your living weapon, or whatever other source you have to apply an elemental debuff. The Mega Heroku Dama will scorch a target really fast if you're up close and you throw it. Like on Ogres, for example, because their hitbox is so big, if you're like in melee range and you throw the bomb, all the particles from the explosion will hit, and give a full stack of scorching. Fire shuriken are easier to use, a lot more safe, but generally will not stack it as fast. A lot of the times it's good to just throw like 3 of these and then a Hirokudama, and that'll get the job done. For the Kusarigama tree, the 2 most important things are Blade Spin and Reaper, along with Waxing Crescent, and all the good passives. Aside from that, the only thing that you really need is right here. Enables you to key pulse through dodging. All the good passives, like I said. And there's one other one right here, Black Vines. That can be useful to pull targets to you or pull you to your targets. I don't really use it much anymore, but while progressing it can definitely be useful. After that, so once you have the skills, the Mystic Art, all the good passives, and Black Vines, you pretty much want to get all the good passives from the other trees. Plus 50 life. This one's really good. Damage reduction when your health is critical. This one I didn't pick up till way later. It's combat damage when your health is critical, which could actually be somewhat useful if you're doing a critical build, or if you're proccing your living weapon through death or while in critical health. It's another 12% close combat damage. This one's good. Yeah. As far in the order that you should get them, pretty much self-explanatory. I picked up the life, then some of the damage, then the key. So right now with the items that I have, this is just my late game Amrita grinding setup. So I'm just using run scrolls, Pleiades and extraction talismans, Carnage, then I have my Sake and Himorogi branches. While progressing, my setup looks something like this. And then in my second slot, I would have Carnage, Weakness, Sloth would be in the bottom, and on the left side, I'd have my Elemental Scroll, Water, or Lightning, primarily. I mean, Water primarily, or Lightning, I would use against stuff like anything that was immune to water damage, or the water debuff. Again, for stats, max dex, you may want to place some points into body, just to get your health up earlier on. Around 20 to 25 in magic. Enough spirit to get your guardian spirit bonuses. Now it is worth it to note that if you do get something like an A+, damage from skill roll on your Kusarigama, then it would be ideal to max skill first, if that does happen to be the case. As far as your agility rating goes, while using a full Iga Jonin set, you only need 1 point in stamina, a total of 6 early on, to maintain an agility rating of A. If you end up equipping a Kodama Bowl, which is slightly heavier, then you will need 2 points in stamina to keep your rating at an A level. I mean, that's pretty much it. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So I do have Amrita % on pretty much everything, which is important. Now from your weapons, you only gain the benefit from whichever one is in the main slot, so whichever one you currently are using. The Amrita percent later on at 750 would be reforged to stuff like toughness or reduced elemental attack damage, evasion key usage, maybe gold earned, I mean, for certain situations, you might want to set for that. Like I said, the most important things are the weapon, having attack on all of your armor, and the accessories. Alright, hope this helped you guys out. Later.